Hello and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with all the important news and events of the day. First, the headlines. Massive tragedy at Amritsar. Stampede during Ravan effigy burning near railway crossing. Scores feared killed after being mowed down by approaching train. Nation celebrates triumph of good over evil. President RAJNATH Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet citizens on Vijayadashmi. Home Minister SINGH celebrates festival in Bikaner with BSF jawans. Houses built for 1.25 crore poor families in the last 4 years under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Congratulates 40,000 beneficiaries for getting their homes under the scheme in SHIRDI, assures centres help for drought-affected people in Maharashtra. Protests continue in Sabarimala. No woman in the 10 to 50-year age group allowed to enter the shrine for the third day. Centre asks Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka to tighten security. And all countries need to work together for a better global future, says Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu at the 12th Asia-Europe meeting in Brussels. Calls for action against countries shielding terror suspects, describes economic crimes as the biggest threat to financial systems everywhere. And we'll have to start the bulletin with some tragic news. Over 50 people are feared dead after being mowed down by a speeding train in Amritsar. According to initial reports, the accident occurred when people were watching the burning of the effigy of Ravan on the side of a railway track, and they could not hear the sound of the approaching train due to noise from the crackers. The train travelling from Jalandhar to Amritsar ran into people gathered near Amritsar's Jora Fatak. Rescue operations have begun, even as many are feared injured in the incident. There were reportedly 700 people present at the accident site. Chief Minister Amrinder Singh has announced 5 lakh rupees ex gratia to the kin of the deceased and free treatment to injured. According to officials, the death toll is expected to rise further.
दशहरे का प्रोग्राम चल रहा था और रेलवे ट्रैक बिल्कुल बगल में है और क्राउड्स बहुत ज़्यादा थे. सडनली कुछ हुआ है मूवमेंट और उसमें रेलवे ट्रेन जो उस समय क्रॉस की है उसकी वजह से देयर आर लॉट ऑफ कैजुअलिटीज, मोर देन 50 एट द 40 to 50. अभी असेसमेंट चल रही है. वी हैव टेकन पीपल टू हॉस्पिटल. वी आर इवैक्यूएटिंग पीपल. इट विल टेक सम मोर टाइम. आई विल गिव यू डिटेल्स.
Incident in Amritsar has been absolutely tragic. I was to leave this evening for Tel Aviv on a program, on a tour there to meet with the authorities there on various Punjab issues. I've had to postpone that. I'm tomorrow morning going to Amritsar to meet with those families who have been who suffered tragedies, both in deaths and in injuries. As far as the state is concerned, they are on full alert. Everybody has been shifted into Amritsar of our administration who are required, and all the injured are being taken to hospitals wherever they may be, and private or government, and the government is going to bear the full cost of this. In the meantime, we should also order an inquiry as to why this incident has taken place.
And before that tragic incident took place in Amritsar, President RAJNATH Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in the DUSSHERA celebrations at the parade ground in Delhi. Prime Minister Modi signalled the burning of the effigies of Ravan, Meghnad and Kumbhakarn. President Kovind congratulated everyone on the occasion of Vijayadashmi while stating that the festival encourages good practices in our lives. Advocating a cleaner environment, the President said that one should take care not to cause pollution and inconvenience to others while celebrating the festival. In his speech, he advocated for a cleaner environment and also women empowerment.
बुराई पर अच्छाई और असत्य पर सत्य की जीत के रूप में यह विजयदशमी का त्यौहार मानव मूल्यों एवं आदर्शों की उत्कृष्टता का प्रतीक है। यह एक ऐसा पर्व है जो समाज में सच्चाई व नैतिकता तथा मर्यादापूर्ण व्यवहार को अपनाने की प्रेरणा देता है। लंकेश रावण जैसे विद्वान एवं वैभव से परिपूर्ण एक राजा को अमानवीय तथा अनैतिक कार्यों की वजह से बुराई के प्रतीक के रूप में देश के कोने कोने में उसका एक पुतले के रूप में दहन किया जाता है। मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम प्रभु राम का आदर्श जीवन पूरे मानव समाज के लिए विजयदशमी का मुख्य संदेश है। समाज के प्रत्येक वर्ग, खासकर कमजोर समुदायों के लोगों को सम्मान देना तथा उनके लिए कार्य करना जितना श्री राम के जीवन काल में प्रासंगिक था, उतना ही आज भी प्रासंगिक है। राम केवट मिलन या गरीब आदिवासी महिला सबरी के बेर खाना ऐसे उदाहरण हैं जो समाज में संवेदनशीलता एवं सद्भावना जैसे मूल्यों को अनुकरणीय बनाते हैं। देश में विभिन्न आस्थाओं में विश्वास रखने वाले समुदायों के त्योहारों का समय प्रारंभ हो चुका है। त्योहारों को मनाते समय दूसरों को असुविधा न हो तथा वायु एवं ध्वनि प्रदूषण को नियंत्रित कर स्वच्छता बनाए रखना हम सबका उत्तरदायित्व है। ऐसे में अनुशासित जीवन शैली हम सबको समाज के प्रति अपनी जिम्मेदारियों का बोध कराती है। राम कथा जैसी महागाथाएं कुछ ऐसी ही शिक्षा देती है जो जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में प्रासंगिक और उपयोगी है।
And Home Minister Rajnath Singh celebrated DUSSHERA with BSF jawans and performed Shastra Puja at a forward post along the highly sensitive Indo-Pak border at Bikaner in Rajasthan. Addressing the BSF personnel, the Home Minister praised the multi-dimensional role of the BSF in guarding the Indo-Pak and Indo-Bangladesh borders, maintaining law and order in internal disturbances as well. Referring to the regular firing from across the border in Jammu and Kashmir, the Home Minister said Pakistan never exercised good neighbourly behaviour and is instead sponsoring terrorism.
सेक्शन में 2 आते हैं। 5.56 mm इंसास राइफल, ये इंडिया कानपुर का बना हुआ है। ये जवान राइफल है, ये लेटेस्ट असॉल्ट राइफल है।
कश्मीर में इसमें कहीं दो मत नहीं है कि जो भी आतंकवादी आ रहे हैं वो पाकिस्तान से आ रहे हैं।
पाकिस्तान की नई सरकार
और लेकिन हमारे सेना, हमारे CAPF और साथ ही हमारी जम्मू कश्मीर की पुलिस, इनके बीच बेहतर कोऑर्डिनेशन है।
And earlier in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi targeted the previous Congress-led government for failing to work towards poverty alleviation and said that the present government is working faster for providing shelter to the poor. He also reiterated his government's aim to ensure shelter for all the homeless by the year 2022, when India celebrates 75 years of independence. The Prime Minister was addressing an event at the Shirdi temple town in Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday attended the valedictory function of the Sai Baba Samadhi centenary celebrations at Shirdi. He unveiled the plaque to mark the laying of the foundation stones of various development works of the Sai Baba Sansthan Trust worth 475 crore rupees. These include a 10 megawatt solar power system, a new Q shelter worth 112 crore rupees, and Sai Knowledge Planetarium and Wax Museum spread over 8.20 hectare, costing 167.39 crore rupees. He also released a silver coin to commemorate the centenary year of Sai Baba Samadhi. Addressing the event, the Prime Minister talked about the centre's Ayushman Bharat scheme and said that 1 lakh people were benefited within a month of its launch. He also said that in all, Ayushman Bharat will benefit 50 crore people.
आयुष्मान भारत योजना की वजह से देश में आधुनिक मेडिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का नया ढांचा तैयार हो रहा है। विशेषकर टियर 2, टियर 3 शहरों में हजारों नए अस्पताल खुलने की संभावना बनी। ये अस्पताल देश के नौजवानों के लिए रोजगार के लाखों नए अवसर भी लेकर के आएंगे।
The Prime Minister also interacted with some beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and symbolically handed over keys of houses to 40,000 beneficiaries of the scheme and also attended the e-Grih Pravesh ceremony.
कोशिश से पहले भी हुई है, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से उनका लक्ष्य गरीबों को घर देकर गरीबों को सशक्त करने के बजाय एक विशेष परिवार के नाम का प्रचार करना, यही उनका मकसद था। गरीब हो या मध्यम वर्ग का परिवार, बीते 4 वर्षों में उसे झुग्गी से, किराए के मकान से निकालकर अपना घर देने की तरफ सरकार ने गंभीर प्रयास किए हैं।
The Prime Minister also reiterated his government's goal of providing permanent houses to every family by the year 2022. Bureau Report, Rajya TV. On the second day of the 12th ASEM Summit, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu promoted inclusive growth and sustainable connectivity. He also urged the international community to work towards early adoption of the United Nations Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. Raj brings us this report from Brussels.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addressed the plenary session of the 12th Asia-Europe meeting in Brussels on Friday. The Vice President talked about various issues ranging from serious threat to world peace and security to financial integrity and environmental protection. Talking about terrorism as a threat to global peace, the Vice President urged the representatives of the international community to work towards early adoption of the UN Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. Highlighting India's tough stand against economic offences, tax crimes and criminal misappropriation of public assets, he said that India considers such actions a significant threat to the integrity of financial systems and sought for an increased cooperation within G20 and other fora to deny shelter to economic offenders. The Vice President also highlighted other pressing global issues such as climate change and elimination of poverty and said that developing countries must enhance their financial and technological support. Vice President Naidu also invited ASEM partners to join the International Solar Alliance.
On the second day of the ASEM Summit, Vice President of India addressed and intervened in the first plenary session. The Vice President addressed 3 major issues concerning the global community. 1, financial and economic offenders, and the issue of menace of terrorism, and also the concern about climate change. He also sought the support of ASEM members to have a global response to fight these issues. He also invited them to participate in the Solar Alliance. With camera person Kamaljeet, Rao, Rajya TV from Brussels.
And back home in Kerala, for the 3rd consecutive day, women devotees of menstruating age were denied entry into the SABARIMALA temple. On Friday, 3 women, including a journalist and an activist, attempted to enter the shrine. The Kerala police provided them security during their trek, but they had to return after devotees blocked their way into the temple premises. The head priest of the temple refused to allow them to enter, saying he would close the shrine if those women entered the shrine. He said that women of menstruating age cannot be allowed on the 18 holy steps that lead to the temple's sanctum sanctorum.
We walked 5 kilometers to Sabarimala, and just we stopped having only 10 meters to only 100 meters to the Sabarimala temple. If we want, we can go there, we can go temple. Police are said, they promised us we will give protection.
ഇവിടുത്തെ വിശ്വാസികൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന അയ്യപ്പ ഭക്തർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സംസ്കാരം സംരക്ഷിക്കുന്ന ആചാരങ്ങൾ സംരക്ഷിക്കുന്ന വ്യക്തികൾ ഇതിനെ അനുവദിച്ചില്ല. ഇത് ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചു പോവുകയാണ്. ഇതിന് അവർ എന്ത് ന്യായീകരണമാണ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ ഈ സംസ്കാര ലംഘനത്തിന് ആചാര ലംഘനത്തിന് എന്ത് ന്യായീകരണമാണ് പറയാനുള്ളതെന്നും കൂടി എനിക്ക് അറിയണം. അത് വഴി അറിയാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
The Tantri informed me that if we are attempting to take the women ahead, the Tantri would close the temple. Closing the temple is a ritualistic disaster which we can't afford. So we have taken them up to the temple, we have given them protection up to the temple, but the darshan is something which the Lord should give with the priests consenting. We will do our duty. We are legally mandated to give protection to them. We'll do the same.
Earlier, there were protests in many places in Kerala over the disruption of puja in the temple. Devotees claimed that puja at the temple had never been disrupted before this. Meanwhile, the centre has asked Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka to tighten security in view of the continuing protests. In an advisory, the Union Home Ministry has also asked the three states to closely monitor the dissemination of messages through social media and the internet. Time for a short break, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. News now from Rajasthan, where the number of people infected with Zika virus rose to 109 on Friday. A spokesperson of the state medical and health department said the 9 new cases were from Jaipur. Most of the cases have been reported from densely populated Shastri Nagar locality of the state capital. The centre on Wednesday rushed an Indian Council of Medical Research team to the state to intensify vector control measures. The team of experts from ICMR has changed the insecticides being used in the city and neighbouring districts to kill mosquitoes that spread Zika as a part of the integrated mosquito management program. Intense fogging and other anti-larvae activities are being carried out in the areas from where cases have been reported. And 5 militants were shot dead by security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla district in 2 separate gunfights. 2 militants were killed in a brief shootout at Kralhar near a railway station in North Kashmir's Baramulla district. The suspects, who were travelling in a car, were asked to stop at a police checkpost. One of them tried to shoot at the police, who retaliated by firing at them. 3 other militants were killed as the army foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in Uri sector of Baramulla district. Afghans go to polls on Saturday for the country's first parliamentary elections in 8 years. The run-up to the vote has been plagued by Taliban attacks. Hundreds of people have been killed or wounded in poll-related violence so far. At least 10 candidates are among those killed. On Thursday, a gunman opened fire on a high-level security meeting attended by top US Commander General Scott Miller. A powerful Afghan police chief, General Abdul Razak, was among at least 3 people killed in the shooting. More than a dozen people, including 3 Americans and a provincial governor, were wounded. The Taliban said the attack on the high-security meeting had targeted Scott Miller, a claim refuted by the top US commander.
I want to offer first and foremost my condolences to the Afghan people for the losses that were experienced in Kandahar. But what happened down there was an attack on the security forces. But I'll tell you, we still remain with the security forces. It was a very close, confined space, but I don't assess that I was the target.
Following the attack, legislative elections in Kandahar province have been delayed by 1 week. The new date for election will be announced by the Election Commission. Despite the threat of violence, the United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan has urged eligible voters to exercise their constitutional right to vote. The poll is seen as a crucial test for next year's presidential election and an important milestone ahead of a UN meeting in Geneva in November, where Afghanistan is under pressure to show progress on democratic processes. And for more on that story, we're being joined on News Tonight by Rana Banerjee, former Special Secretary, Cabinet Secretariat. A very good evening, sir, and thank you for joining us on News Tonight. Sir, you just saw in the report that the days preceding the crucial elections have seen massive violence in Afghanistan. Do you think the spurt in militant attacks and also the boycott calls by terrorist groups is going to affect Saturday's ballot?
Well, there will be a mixed situation. The law and order situation is very bad, as you have yourself pointed out, and the incident in Kandahar was a big moral setback for the security forces and the Afghan national government, unity government. Nevertheless, there is a lot of enthusiasm for the polls, as was witnessed during the voter registration process. Almost 9 million voters registered, including 63% men and 34% women. A lot of women candidates have also filed as candidates. The Walesi Jirga has 249 seats and 68 seats are reserved for women candidates. The Tazkira or the paper identity card registration process has not been perfect. There would be a lot of fake registrations, which has been a problem with the Afghan electoral system. Yes. Nevertheless, the enthusiasm, particularly among the young in the rural areas, is in the urban areas, is a very hopeful sign. And the Walesi Jirga, which has not had MPs elected for almost 8 years, would perhaps have a new look after whatever elections can be held tomorrow. Not all areas which are disturbed will be able to vote successfully, and the Taliban definitely will try to create violence and intimidate voters as they have been trying to do. Yes. But nevertheless, I believe that the process itself will go through, and it will be a precursor to the presidential elections next year.
Why do you think, sir, these parliamentary elections are crucial for Afghans this time around? What are the Afghans expecting?
Well, you see, there have been MPs in the Walesi Jirga for almost 8 years. But while some of them have been able to project the needs of their constituencies effectively enough, others may not have been able to do so that well. And there is an expectation among the newer voters that this time they will elect fresh candidates who will perhaps be able to do better. They may be better educated candidates. They may be able to better represent the ethnic areas from which they come. So there will be a lot of expectation that if these people do get elected, they may be able to provide a new look at the problems which are before the Afghan people.
Yes.
So definitely the process would mark a significant success for the democratic setup that has been envisaged after the Bonn process of 2004.
Yes. Do you think, sir, the fractured political system will be able to meet the desired levels of free and fair elections in Afghanistan?
Well, that is going to be a question mark. There will be, as I said, the problem of fake voters, the fake identity cards. But the process of election will be supervised quite carefully by the Independent Election Commission. There is also an Independent Election Complaints Commission. So this whole process will be a rehearsal for the presidential elections next year. And it is hoped that with the international attention on the process, that in some areas at least where there is not so much of a disturbed law and order situation, the process will be fairly free.
Sir, but the biometric system that is going to be used to check fake voters, don't you think the process may disenfranchise some of the voters?
Yes, it will. It will, because the reports that have come in from Afghanistan indicate that the biometric system was given to a German company, and the system that they have devised is not very perfect. So the possibility of impersonation or the process being duplicated cannot be ruled out.
Yes. All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on News Tonight and putting things into perspective for us and our viewers. That's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.